Good morning everyone. In our yesterday's class, we learned about how to work in Python. After that, there are two different ways to work in Python. One is the interactive mode and the other one is the script mode. While interactive mode is directly on the Python shell, with the help of command prompt we are working on it. Whereas in script mode, we are saving our program at once and then we are running it completely at a single time. After that, we came to know about the character set of Python, and after that our topic is tokens, from which we are going to start our lecture today. So what is a token? As we all know that token is the smallest unit of a program, or you can say of a language. It is also known as a lexical unit. We are having 5 types of token in our language, which are remembered by a short form, right? You remember the short form KELOP, that is keyword, identifier, literal, operator and punctuators. Fine. Now the first one is keywords. What are the keywords? Keywords are the reserved words which are having a special functionality in the language. Okay, they are reserved particularly by the language. Next, how many keywords are there in a Python? Okay, or you can take it as a layman structure also. For example, in other languages like English, Latin, Spanish, any languages, we are having several words which are already predefined. For example, you can take the word dictionary. So it is already predefined, it is having a predefined word. Similarly, in Python, we are having 33 keywords that are already predefined. You can have a look over here. So these are the 33 keywords that we are having predefined meaning. Okay, now after taking a look on it, we can note few points like in these keywords we are only having letters or the alphabets used. Except this, nothing else is there. So first one is all keywords contain only alphabets. Next one, except 3 keywords, all other keywords are in lower case or the lowercase alphabets. Can you recognize what are these keywords? First one is false, yes. Next one is none, and the other one is true. Yesterday we did the practical also, that if we are writing true in the lower case, it is giving us error, name error, right? So except 3, rest all are in lower case, and those 3 are false, none and true. After that, we are having a command from which we can retrieve the keyword list. For this, we have to import the module keyword. Okay, so the command is import keyword. Import is also a keyword, you can see over here. Okay, next, here it is, you can see import. So it is also a keyword. Import means importing a module, and the keyword is a module which is having the list of keywords and their functionalities. After that, you have to write keyword.kwlist. This we have done in our earlier class, and we got the list of keywords completely. Now our today's topic, which is identifier. So the question arises, what is identifier? Now first, suppose we are sitting in a classroom but we don't know the name of each other, or we are not having any names. So it's not possible to call each other without knowing their names. It's a bit difficult. So that's why in our society, or you can say that in another language, we are having some proper names to call oneself or to do the work. Similar case, a name in a Python program is known as identifier. Okay, a name in a Python program is known as identifier. Basically, identifiers are the fundamental building blocks of a program. Why they are the fundamental building blocks? Because a name can be of a class, a function, a module, or a variable. Class, function, module, we will discuss it later on one by one. Today we will discuss about the variable. What is a variable? Now for suppose I am having a memory, okay, in computer, where I am having some letter I am storing, for suppose W, okay, and it is an address 101. So it is not easy for me to remember all the time that W is at address 101. So I am giving it this address a name A. Okay, I am giving it as name A. So what is A? A is the variable name. So variable is a container of a value. Okay, so A is a variable which is named as A. Okay, so a variable name is identifier. So it's an identifier which is a variable name. Okay, this is a value and this is the address that I'm storing it. Okay, so now let's see the another example. Here I'm assigning the value A is equal to 10. So you can see here 10 is a value that is a constant value I'm assigning. A is my identifier. A is a identifier, but which identifier? It's a variable name. Okay, it's a variable identifier. Now you can see over here the same example. In memory I'm having the value 10, and next in memory I'm having the value 20, but at same time I'm giving both them as name A. Okay, both of them are identifier A. Now let's see what happens. Okay, we are having some rules to specify the identifier. What do you think? Is it correct if I'm writing A is equal to 10 and then I'm writing capital A is equal to 20? Is it correct, or it will give you an error? Okay, let's see further. We are having more examples over here. For suppose I'm giving cash. Okay, cash, here I'm using a dollar symbol, then I'm using a underscore, after that I'm using 1, then I'm using a star. Let's see what happened. We will run them. Okay, so here is a Python shell. Okay, now first I'm giving the name. You can see over here I'm having A is equal to 10 that I have assigned earlier, then I have assigned A is equal to 20. Okay, after that AD is equal to 78, then AD 12 is equal to 90. Now let us try these. Okay, see, first we will access them. Okay, if I am saying A, it is giving me 10. If I am writing capital A, it is giving me 20. So that means Python is a case sensitive language. For it, lowercase and uppercase both are completely different. Okay, now I try to use the dollar symbol. Okay, CA, and let's see the dollar 10. It is giving me syntax error. Why it is giving me a syntax error? Because dollar is not used in Python. Okay, it is not used in identifier in Python. So this is an invalid identifier. This one is a valid identifier. This is also a valid identifier. This is also a valid identifier, but this is not a valid identifier. So next, let's see, does it work for underscore? Let's see, we will check it out. Okay, underscore, yes, it's working. Okay, so it is a valid identifier. Now I will tell you why it is a valid identifier. Because in Python, underscore is considered as private. What it is considered? It is considered as private, whose value can't be directly accessed. Okay, it's a private. If you are having double underscore before an identifier name, that means it is a strongly private. And if you are having double underscore before and after, then it is a magical word which is having a special functionality in Python. Now let us try the another identifier. One is this one having a numeric digit, and the other one is star. Okay, so let us try. So it is also correct, it is working. So, and last one we will also try. It is a name error, cache is not defined. So you can see here, if we are using underscore, it is valid. If we are using a number, it is valid. If we are using only characters, it is valid. Okay, but if we are using any other special symbol, it is not valid. So the first rule of identifier is only alphabets are allowed, either lower or uppercase, digits from 0 to 9, and underscore symbol. Now next point, digits 0 to 9. Is it okay if I am writing a digit at first place and then not using it at the second place? So we are having 3 examples over here. Let us try these. Okay, so now if I am writing 1 2 3 and then FG, okay, it is an invalid syntax. So from this what we came to know, if our digit is at the end or in the mid of a identifier, then it is valid. If a digit is at the first place, then it is not valid. It results in invalid identifier. Okay, so we are having our next rule is it should not start with digit. So this one, first one is invalid identifier, next one is valid identifier, after that it is also a valid identifier. Now next rule that we learned about, if I am writing capital H or I, is it working? Or HI in small, it's also working. From this what we learned, that Python is a case sensitive language. It treats capital letter or the uppercase alphabet and the lowercase alphabet differently. Okay, so both of them are valid identifiers. Now come to the next rule. I told you about the keyword. So def is a keyword, if is a keyword. Now we will learn whether we use a keyword as an identifier or not. What do you think? We will use a keyword as an identifier or not? So let's see. If is equal to 9. Syntax error. It is an invalid syntax. Why? Because our next rule is we can't use any keyword as an identifier. Okay. Now next one. Dollar symbol is not applied in Python, so it is an invalid identifier. Next, I have created an identifier or a variable like this equal to 10. So what do you think? What is the length of identifier in Python? Can you imagine? Is it working with the 26? If I am writing 26 characters, will it work? Okay. If 32 characters is there, or 64 or 128, what do you think? What is the maximum length of a character or the identifier that I am using? Let us try. Okay. So I am writing here continuously. Okay. And now I am writing equal to 10. Yeah, it is taking it. So in Python, identifier can be of any length. It is an undefined length. Okay. So we have learned about the 6 rules of identifier. First one, that only alphabets can be a lower or uppercase, digits and underscore can be used to frame the identifier. Next one, the identifier should not be start with a digit. Next, it is a case sensitive. So if you are taking a lowercase alphabet or a uppercase, both are treated differentially. Okay, and both are correct. You can't use reserve words as an identifier name. After it, dollar is not allowed in identifier name, just like other language like Java. In Python, dollar is not allowed in identifier name, and it can be of any length. Okay, its length is not defined. Next topic for today is literals. What are literals? So literals are basically referred to as constant. Okay, it is referred to as constant. The data items. What is a constant? The data item that have a fixed value is known as literal. If I am writing 10 over here, it is a literal. I am writing 5, it's a literal. Okay, I am writing A, it is a literal. Okay, I am writing something else, Z, it is a literal. So any constant which is having a fixed value, it is known as literals. We are having 4 types of literal. First one is string literal. Okay, in a string literals, you can see over here, you can write a single letter, you can write more than one letter, or you can write a string. Okay, first one, you are writing in a single apostrophe commas, after that double one. Okay, so these all are considered in string literals. Now let us take the more examples. For suppose I am writing here C is equal to Ram. It is correct. Okay, Ram is a string literal. I can access it. Okay, now if I am writing C is equal to Jia, it is also accessing. So both the methods are correct. Whether you are writing in a single apostrophe or you are writing in a double apostrophe, it is considered as literal. Now let us try something else. Okay, if I am writing C is equal to 1ki or 2ki, okay, it is also correct. Anything that is inside the apostrophes, whether it is a number or a special symbol or anything else, it is considered as string. Okay, let us try one more. Okay, it is also a literal. So anything that is coming under a apostrophe, it is a literal. Okay, string literal. Now our next one is the numeric literals. In numeric literals, first one we are having the integer literal, then we are having the float literals, after that we are having exponential literals, and we are having also the negative literals. Fine. And one more is there. Have you heard about the complex number, in which we are writing 1 plus 2j, something having imaginary and the real number iota, right? Yes, you are remembering it. Okay, so in this we are having these kind of literals. Are they considered valid? Yes, these are the valid literals. Now let us check few valid and invalid numeric literals. Okay, so let us see. Here I am using 7. Yeah, it's a valid literal. Now I am writing plus 17 by 2. It is also a valid literal because it is actually using the maths functions. Okay, next one we are using 17 comma 250. Okay, 0.90. Yes, it is also coming as a valid literal. Okay, so let us try one more. So this is an invalid syntax. Okay, this is an invalid literal. Fine, now let us try to store exponentials. Okay, so till now we have seen about these are the numeric literals which are directly accessed by the Python. Next one we are having boolean literals, that is true and false. We are only having two boolean literals which are true and false. True means 1 and false means 0. Okay, true means 1 and false means 0. Last one we are having is special literal none. What is none? The none literal is used to indicate absence of a value. In Python, if a value is absent, then it's treated as none. Okay, let us see over here. I am writing x is equal to 90. Okay, fine. Next I am writing f. So f is not defined. F is not having any value. Okay, if I am writing f is equal to none. Okay. So now I am printing f. F is not having any value. If I am writing print f, so now you see the f is having value none. Okay. So next in literals we have learned about the constant or data items that have a fixed value are known as literals. We are having 4 different types of literal. First one is a string literal. Okay, in which we are having a strings. Next one numeric literal, which are integer literal, boolean which are integer literal, float literal, exponential literal, and fractional literals. After that we are having boolean literals, that is true and false. Last we are having the non literal, which is specifying not value or the missing value. Next one we are having operators. So in Python we are having 7 different types of operators. First one is the arithmetic operators. What are arithmetic operators? Basically, first thing, what are operators? Operators are tokens that trigger some computation, or you can say the action when applied to variables or other objects, which are known as operands. Okay, so first one we are having arithmetic operators. For arithmetic operators we need 2 operands. Okay, in this we are having addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, exponential, etc. Let us try first the arithmetic operators. Okay, so we are having 2 values is, okay, we will do the addition of a plus b. Okay, a plus capital A, let's see. So we are having 30. Okay, if I am doing a minus a, it is minus 10. Same case if I am doing a into a, it is 200. So these are all the arithmetic operators. Now moving on towards the relational operators. Relational operators are those operators which are showing relation between 2 operands, that can be less than, greater than, less than, equal to, greater than, equal to, or not equal to. Let's see. Here I am writing a is equal to a equal to a. Is it true or false? False, because small a is having the value 10 and capital A is having the value 20. Okay, next let us try a is less than. It is true because a is having the value 10, which is less than. In relational operators you are always having the result as false or true. Okay, let us try the next one. We are having assignment operators. In assignment operator we are having equal to, that is assignment operator. Now you can see over here we are having add and assign, subtract and assign, divide and assign. Okay, multiply and assign. So these plus equal to, minus equal to, these are known as the shorthand operators. Okay, these are the shorthand operators. How it works, let's see over here. If I am writing a plus equal to 5, okay, that means a plus 5 equal to a. So my value of a is 15 now. Okay, a plus 5 equal to a. Okay, now next one we are having logical operators. And logical operators we are having 3 types of operator, and or we can check out the conditions. If both the conditions are true, then it is true. If both of them are false, then it is false. Okay, if in or if anyone is true, then it is true, and in not, automatically it reverses the conditions. After that we are having membership operators. In membership we are checking that A is present in a list or in a particular place it is present or not. After that we are having the identity operator. Okay, let us try the identity operator. Here I am writing A is A. Whether A is equal to A, yes, it is correct. It is just double equal to. Okay, now I am writing A is A. It is false because the value is not same. After that we are having the bitwise operator, which is the binary AND or not XOR. Okay, last we are having the punctuators. Okay, so what are punctuators? Punctuators are basically the symbols that are used in programming language to organize programming sentence structure and indicate the rhythm. Okay, so in today's class we learned about the keywords, identifiers, literals and special literal, none, after that operators and punctuators. So we will revise it again. A keyword is a reserved word carrying special meaning and purpose. Okay, and so how many keywords we are having? We are having 33 keywords in Python. Fine. Next one we are having identifiers. Identifiers are user defined names for different parts of program, and it can be a class name, function name, module name or variable name. After we learned how to create an identifier or variable, then we studied about the rules of identifier. First one, all the alphabets can be used. Okay, after that 0 to 9 digits are used and an underscore symbol is used. Single and underscore represents that the identifier is private. After that we are having another rule, which is it should not start with digit. We can use digit in the mid or at the end, but not at the starting. Means the first place should not be a digit. Next one we are having, we all know that Python is a case sensitive language, so it treat capital, or you can say the uppercase and the lowercase differentially, so both are correct. After that keywords cannot be used in identifiers. Then dollar symbol is not used in identifier. After that a Python identifier can be of any length. Okay, after that our next one was literals. Literals are basically the fixed values or the constant values. We are having 4 types of literals. String literals, it can be written both in single apostrophe or the double apostrophes, both are correct. After that we are having numeric literals, in which we are having integer literal, float literal, exponential literals or fraction literals. Then we are having boolean literals, which are having the value true or false. After that we are having a special literal, none. That means it displays that it is not having any value over there. After that we are having operators. Operators are basically tokens that triggers some computation, okay, or the action when applied to variables. The variables that we need to use or we can apply on operators are operands. Okay, so we are having 7 different types of operators. First one is arithmetic, then relational, assignment, logical, membership, identity and bitwise. In arithmetic we need 2 operands for working. Okay, in this we include addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, etc. Then we are having relation operators, which are used to check the relation between any 2 variables. It always gives the result in true or false. After that we are having assignment operators, which are used to change the value or assign the value to a particular variable or identifier. Next we are having logical operators, which check the logic whether the conditions are correct or not. In this we are having 3 logical operators, and or not. Then membership operator, which is in or not in. It check the value if a particular variable is in certain place or not. Then identity operator, but it works on the address, not on the values directly. After we are having bitwise operator, directly works on the single shifts, or you can say the single value, single operand. Okay children, thank you.